Greetings, life forms, wherever you're receiving us. This is Justin.
This is Matt.
And my ears hurt. My name is Landon.
Well, you know, with us not recording last week, it felt like, you know, we were a little constipated. I need to get one out. Greeting, life forms. Squeeze that episode out of there.
Did you not do an eggnog enema?
Not yet.
Dear Lord.
That's after the show.
Yeah, our after show parties are awesome.
Welcome back. I hope you didn't miss us too much last week on our little bit of a Thanksgiving hiatus. We were in a turkey coma, but we have risen like the Undertaker, and we are back. We're going to take names. No, we're not taking names. We're just taking
we don't
prisoners.
care about your name.
Yeah. It is Nerd News Cafe, episode 73. This is Sunday, December 3rd, and we are recording under the cover of night.
With the moon, super moon.
Yeah, under the supermoon, so things could get kind of wild if you start hearing some howling. Bring your silver bullets. And I'm not talking Coors Light.
Yep. Or
Coors Light.
Or those other bullets that are
Well,
not for us.
I got two of those silver bullets.
There you go.
Are you telling me I need to put them away?
Well, just, you know, aim them away from here so you don't take out the werewolves. That's all I'm saying. So, Landon, is that are you doing a reveal there? Is that what you've got? Your beverage of the evening is Coors Light?
Yes, exactly. A delicious quote unquote. Actually, no, I'm not even going to try and sell that. A Coors Light after a very filling meal. So there you go.
Don't say it too loud because the train is
Yeah,
always
you're right.
there, always stalking.
This
is the perfect time for a train attack.
We live in constant fear of the Coors Light train
Constant
crashing
fear
through our house. So luckily, in order to avoid that, I'm not drinking Coors Light tonight.
Smart.
Yeah, me neither.
But we are following suit at least with adult beverages. Matt, what have you got over there?
There you go.
Well, bells will be yinglinging because that's what I've got is big yinglinging traditional lager.
Yeah,
Let's see if we can get a good can pop on it.
just
if I
in
can
time
get
for Christmas.
Oh yes, baby.
Nice. Pretty okay, other than the fact you were talking all over it, but good job.
It's okay.
We've got our good Foley
Yeah.
one. I don't want to.
Exactly. Yeah. Jay can just insert that good one.
I
in.
will. I'll insert
Every
the
time.
one good one. Even when we're drinking like milk out of a glass.
Exactly. You go to pour that nice crack. It's like, the hell did that come from?
Canned milk.
Canned milk.
Straight from Canada.
Condensed milk.
I am also having an adult beverage, but I am having a cider. This is called, it's Recorderling.
And he's recording.
Yeah, Recordering. Premium.
Hey,
It's a pear hard cider, which I've never partaken in before.
Interesting.
So, here we go.
Oh, that was a good pop.
Okay. All right. I can respect that.
It tastes like pear.
Really?
It really tastes like pear.
Ugh.
It is Perry.
Perry
the
I was
platypus.
going to say Perry the platypus?
Yeah.
Undercover platypus?
It's good. It's sweet. It's very
Oh,
sweet.
okay.
This is not something I would want to have too many of because this would give me a headache.
This is more for the kids, right?
Yeah, this is what you give the kids on Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Exactly. It's your kid's bar mitzvah. Just break a 12er of these out. Kids will love it.
God, that reminds me. I watched all of Big Mouth. Have you guys watched that show? Don't.
Have not.
Don't. I mean, it's
Well,
funny,
right
and it's a lot about, like, you remember all our
Is
awkward...
that the Nick Kroll show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's...
Animated?
It's really bad.
I watched the first episode.
It's
You can't watch it with your
No,
kids.
no.
No kids. Not even
no
one.
kids.
Not even a little bit.
But here's the thing. As I watched that show, all those bad middle school memories that I had repressed for so long, they're back.
They come flooding back.
Because all that stuff, I mean, it's silly and there's a lot of craziness in it, but there are a lot of things that are like dead on.
Yeah, on the money. It's a coming of age sort of
It
tale.
is.
But it's just these kids are just smack dab right in the middle of their puberty.
The
well,
hormone
at the beginning,
monsters
really.
are great.
Yeah, the hormone monsters. But like all of our favorite people have voices on this show.
Oh yeah.
Landon, have you seen any of it?
No, have not.
It's they're maybe 20, 25 minutes a piece.
Yeah.
You can burn through it probably before you pass out from your second silver bullet.
Well, all right then.
Get to
Well,
it right
based
after
on that and your glowing endorsement earlier, I'll have to definitely check that
you
out.
can get to it right after your eggnog enema.
That's right.
Wait, is that a thing that I just missed the memo on?
Oh, it was part of your contract you signed when you signed on. This is a holiday tradition.
Yeah.
Eggnog enema.
That was page 3, paragraph 4, section 5.
Yeah.
Oh,
Welcome to the team.
Hold on, fire.
We put our hazing off for a very long time.
Yeah, gotta give it to you on that. Was not expecting it at this point.
That's the key. You got to make the hazing a surprise.
That's
like,
right.
Years later.
Yeah, I mean,
Welcome to the team, Rook.
that's right. Get on
You
the
guys
car,
are doing some
Mahoney.
Weird stuff.
It's not weird. It's just not a part of usual norms.
Listen, you're from Knoxville, home of butt chugging.
That's
you
right.
Should be used to this stuff.
Yeah, that is true. Still, one of the most surreal moments at work was standing in the newsroom watching that press conference, being like, "Wow, what the actual hell is going on?"
Hey, Tennessee, top 10 party school, last like 50 years.
Yeah,
we
that's
know
true.
we know how to do it.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
We can't hire a football coach, but God, can we get alcohol into our buttholes?
that's right. You have figured out, and I think the liquored up tampons are a part of that culture too.
Yeah, could be.
Buh.
He's the buh.
All right. I have a feeling that maybe some executives over at EA are going to want to do some butt chugging. Because,
Oh, absolutely. They're definitely doing some backpedaling.
Or there's some butt puckering going on based on early reviews.
Yeah.
A nice staub in the seat.
That's my segue into the headlines this week. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to follow along with us as we go through the latest headlines, you can do so on our Twitter account. That's at nerd_news_cafe. You can see all of our musings in 280 characters now.
That's right.
Or the things that we
that's
like.
gimmick infringement.
I know.
What the hell, man?
I know. I stole it right from you, but you stumbled over it last time because you forgot that we doubled the character limit.
Hey, it's not my fault that Twitter changed the game.
It's
do.
disconcerting. You know, it used to say 146 when you went to tweet something. Now it doesn't
never
say
said
anything.
146.
It always said down in the corner.
140.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
140.
Sorry.
You always had the extra 6 characters.
Maybe that's why my sentences get cut off.
Yeah, you might be onto something there.
Maybe you're not using. Are you using Tweeter? Is that the problem?
Is
You're
there
on like some
wait,
other? Like
is
a
there
knockoff
is an A in
social
it, right?
media.
Yes, I go to twitter.com.
.com.
Oh my goodness! I'm gonna probably have to bleep that.
I don't. Nah, that one's good.
Okay, Matt's approval,
Yeah, I think you're good.
FCC approval.
That's right.
Definitely, yeah.
I had a tentative interim there.
All right, hard to get back on track after that, but yeah, we'll start with this one. So this article from Game Rant. This is actually a couple weeks ago, but we've been out of the game for a couple weeks. At this point, Star Wars Battlefront 2 sales were down 60% from Battlefront 1. And, you could probably look at a lot of reasons for that. One of the big reasons people are pointing to is the microtransactions and the loot crates and things. Because once that news came out that EA was moving forward with that kind of strategy in the little Star Wars Battlefront 2 market, people started canceling pre-orders and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this number might be a tad inflated because it doesn't account for digital sales, but you cannot tell me that 60%
No,
of
there's
the
no
decrease
way.
is related to digital sales. Maybe 5.
Yeah,
10.
I was about to say physical sales is still a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, people still want physical sales. I still want physical sales. So
Yeah, we know we like to
and
get physical
I mean,
over here.
obviously the loot crate stuff does play into it. I think the bigger factor that plays into it is, even though we had the open beta, like 6-ish weeks ago at this point, I think there are a lot of players who were burned on buying day one Star Wars Battlefront 1.
Well, and I know you didn't have a great experience with the beta. So do you think that the open beta might have backfired a little bit on this?
I mean, I guess it's a possibility, but I still think I would have ended up being in the minority in the open beta because, I mean, at the end of the day, it still comes down to, hey, it's Star Wars. Let's go out there and pew 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 and fly a TIE fighter and go shoo and play as Chewbacca and go raw.
Okay.
I mean,
Good points. I would say hindsight on this one is kind of 20/20, but I'm thinking, what they could have done as opposed to doing the open beta so locked down where you really just did battles that felt a lot like Battlefront 1.
sure.
Why not give us access to the new features? Mm-hmm. And we kind of
That's a
did
fair point.
we kind of did a little like you did a little bit with when you got to play with the droids like in single player mode, and I think it was called Onslaught or something. I can't remember what that was called. But anyway,
yeah, it was kind of like an arcade thing. By the way,
yeah.
I was not done making Star Wars noises.
Oh, go ahead.
That was very rude of you, to
Sorry. What else you got?
When you can be Darth Vader and go.
Don't forget
all right,
lightsabers. Did you do lightsabers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wait, no, that's that's. There we go. That was me shooting again. All right, go ahead. Please continue.
Okay, so you're right. It's still Star Wars, and people are still going to want to have fun making all these silly noises like you're doing.
Yep.
But it did, like, if you were a person who felt really burned by Battlefront 1 and you tried the open beta and it felt a lot to you like the first incarnation of this game.
More of the same.
Yeah, then maybe you did feel discouraged. I know you weren't the only person who was disappointed by the open beta. We know that. So and then pile on top of that the news of the microtransactions.
Yeah.
So
I think
Well,
the
and
news in general-
it's also interesting with the news coming down that the physical copies, at least, are down. While we're recording this, at least, and I'm willing to bet by the time this goes live on Tuesday, Target has both on Xbox and PlayStation Battlefront 2 $40. So check it out.
Yeah, price coming
and
down.
that means it's already on sale.
Yeah, price coming down. And actually, I did read that there will be a promotion, some kind of a combo deal where you can get tickets to Star Wars The Last Jedi and get a discount on the game.
Really?
Oh, hell yeah.
So-
all right, sign me up for that.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say that's probably the better deal.
Yeah,
anyway.
so if you guys have not purchased Battlefront 2 yet, you might as well just wait.
yeah.
Yeah, just hold on until Last Jedi comes out.
Yeah.
Unless you've
Episode 8.
signed what's coming up next.
Yeah.
You know, if you sign that thing, then I guess you.
That's
won't.
right. So, based on this discussion, everything we're talking about, all the potential negative feelings that a consumer might have about Battlefront 2, there has been a petition that has been created to remove EA's Star Wars license, and so far, as of December 2nd, 2017, it has 85,000 signatures.
God,
Wow.
that's a lot of angry people.
That is a loud voice
Yeah,
right
it is.
there.
I mean, and we said this pre-show. It's not gonna do
No.
anything, or as you indicated, it's definitely not gonna do anything. But as we have seen in the news from the past week, voices do
Yeah.
get heard.
For those of you
Absolutely,
who outside of
yeah.
Knoxville, I think you probably have heard more of Knoxville in
Holy
this past
cow.
week than you ever wanted to, based on the fact that there was literally a revolt, capital VOL, on our campus when they tried to hire a head football coach that the fans here did not want. And what it proved is that the fans have a voice, and to not keep this centered on sports, you're right. 85,000 signatures, it's a lot, but these petitions rarely do anything. But what it does do is get people's attention.
Yeah.
So it's not going to cancel the contract between EA and Star Wars or Lucasfilm Games. That's not going to happen. But what it might do is inform future decision making.
Unless Kennedy comes down.
Yeah, Kennedy could come down and drop the doom hammer
She's
on
like,
everything.
I'm sorry, guys. We've had a great relationship, and I'm going to have to let you go.
Yeah. She fires
Activision
everybody.
is here.
She cancels EA. EA doesn't exist
Cancel
anymore.
Just cancels EA. I'm sorry.
Brings in
Did
Ron
you want
Howard
Madden?
to just
It's
be
gone.
EA.
Exactly. Ron Howard will now be running EA. Thank you very much.
Holy crap! I would have no words for that kind of exchange.
Yeah.
For them to walk in another organization they have no title to and be like, "You're gone." Do you even work here? It doesn't matter. Leave.
It doesn't matter.
But I mean, I do have to say this news, and then based on the our last show that we recorded, we had the story about how there were some people rumbling within Disney that's kind of pissed at EA and the, I guess for the lack of a better term, bad PR.
Oh, yeah.
Battle 2 is getting. So I mean, like, even though nothing will probably come of this petition, it's not a good look on EA.
No,
No,
definitely
this is another kick in the shins, and I will say Disney does not want this franchise sold, at all. So if this kind of thing keeps going on with them, I'm not saying they'll pull their license, but you could definitely probably see Disney stepping in and saying this is what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I actually hope nothing does become of this petition, because I mean, we just came off of the heels of Marvel Heroes shutting down, which, by the way, there's been an update, a tragic update to that story we can get to here in a second. Marvel Heroes is shutting down because Disney pulled that license. If EA gets their license pulled, that means BioWare, by proxy, gets the license pulled for the Old Republic, the MMO, and it's like, that's not my jams, but at the same time, that's the closest we're going to get to Knights of the Old Republic 3 and 4 and 5, etc., is the Old Republic series. And also, this just came to me, by pulling that license, that takes away any hope of future standalone Knights of the Old Republic. So that would bum me out a whole lot if the license was pulled away from EA.
Yeah. I think the best thing that could come of this, as opposed to pulling the license, would just be that EA has learned a very, very hard lesson.
Yeah,
here.
I was going to say game structure and probably, the whole setup of how they do those games, and any Star Wars games from here going forward is probably going to have a new outlook, or somebody's going to have to think outside the box, because they definitely don't want this kind of, headlines.
Backlash.
Yeah, again.
I like to always look at kind of the theme of these stories that we're relating through our show, and what's the message. And I think the message that we've seen through this, and also what we were talking about previously in the sports world, is that the consumer has a voice.
Yeah,
and the thing that social media does for us nowadays is we aren't nameless, faceless people that can't control anything and just have to kind of bend over and take it up the tailpipe, to steal a little Jim Carrey quote from Liar Liar. But if we get organized against a cause or for a cause, we can make a difference.
I will say Ubisoft got the message through sales. This
Well,
kind
that's
of
the
thing.
Hit them in the pocketbook.
Yeah, what was it? Unity, poor sales and poor delivery, and then Syndicate came out and no one was interested. I heard Syndicate's an okay game, but no one was interested.
Yeah,
no one likes the
okay
dynamics.
Game.
Yeah, and then what they do? Well, we're going to take a year off to rebump it. And what do they come out with? Another masterpiece. So they listen. Sometimes you have to hit them in the pocketbook, and that's what's happening here. Not only with the petition, but like you said, they're down 60%. I mean, that's a kick in the shins when they thought, we're gonna make bank on this.
They thought this was gonna set records.
This affects. I mean, you could speak to this. This affects budgets.
Oh yeah,
it's like, next year we're gonna put out this, and this. Oh wait, we don't have that money we were gonna have.
It's all about return on investment.
Exactly.
And if they feel like they're not getting that ROI from this property, then you won't get any more of it.
No, but you're gonna get more of this. But they're definitely. I mean, it may be more. It may be another year past. Before you get a Battlefield 3 or a Knights of the Old Republic. Maybe that one's kicked down.
Kick it down the road. Yeah.
Well, I've given up any hopes of a standalone KOTOR at this point. Like I said, the closest we're going to get to KOTOR 3 is the Old Republic. And I want to jump in here and say Bungie is listening when it comes to Destiny 2 as well. This week, there's been a lot of outrage that people have discovered at certain points. Leveling becomes really hard, and Bungie admitted to that. So.
Yeah.
Man, that whole, if you guys get a chance, it's on the Twitter. That whole article about what they were doing is pretty disconcerting. I mean, the whole thing of how their whole leveling works, and I mean, people were actually like, I don't know how you would test that or why you would even try it, but they were testing it and showing. I guess they had prime examples of, hey, this person doesn't level as much as this person because of this.
Oh my gosh, you never.
I would lose my.
Never underestimate the power of nerds.
True, very true. You are messing with the wrong people.
Yeah, they can run a scan, an analysis on anything that you can imagine. Like if the data's there, they're gonna figure it out. So
they're gonna crack it open and figure it out.
Yeah, so that was crazy, and Bungie pretty much was like, our bad.
Yeah, once they got caught.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, once they got caught, but they are listening to the consumer, which I mean, that is true. They definitely have to in this situation.
Because I mean, that kind of thing, I had read a couple of things about, not just one article, but I read a couple articles that there was like, there could be a possible investigation about, like, I don't know, some kind of fraudulent claims, or some people were attributing it to like a scam. Where you paid so much money and you were supposed to be on an equal grounds with other people and you're not, and I don't know that they could get in that kind of trouble, but just to threaten it may be enough for them to say, okay,
Yeah.
We need to walk away from this kind of system.
Yeah.
Well, and also here's the other thing. Take into account that the day this podcast goes live, December 5th, that's the day that their first piece of DLC for Destiny 2 goes live, Curse of Osiris.
Yeah, we'll
So I'm willing to bet, once again, PR does come into play with them just coming clean and admitting, hey, yes, okay, stuff's going on. We're fixing it. Trust us.
Oh, people won't trust you, but they'll definitely check it.
Yeah. Trust may have evaporated at this point. But, yeah, I just it's good, though. The world we live in, I think it's a positive thing. Because
I do, too. It's sad that we're having, as a nerd, as a geek, as a gamer, you have to defend yourself in this realm right now. But at the same time, I mean, games are big money.
Yeah.
And I mean, microtransactions alone make them ridiculous amounts of money. So I guess I get it on a business end, but on the other end, on a consumer end, on a long-time gamer end, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
Don't mess with my money.
That's right. Keep your hands off my money. I wanted to talk about this. So this was an article from the Hollywood Reporter, and again, this is a little bit older news, but it hasn't happened yet, so it's still up and coming.
We can still talk about it until it happens.
That's right. So they announced a Harley Quinn animated series is set for the DC digital service, and this will mark the third series that has been announced for that digital service. The other two being Titans and Young Justice Outsiders. So
they're putting some money into it.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to beef up the content. And this series is going to be a 26-episode, half-hour project.
Jesus.
It comes from the Powerless trio of Justin Halpern.
That's what
Patrick
intrigues me
Schumacher, and Dean Lordy.
more than anything is the people behind Powerless. Because I liked Powerless.
Powerless was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
So
You definitely got some nice creative minds there.
Yeah.
That
seems
might
cool.
take it in a fun direction.
26 episodes. Did the person who does Supernatural get on board with this?
That is a lot of episodes
God.
for sure. But like a season of a regular TV show, if you really go from start to end of season, sometimes they are in the 20-26 range.
I guess so. I guess I'm used
they're
to
in
the
that ballpark.
The Walking Dead thing where it's like 6 and then we're out, and then 6 more and then we're totally
those
out.
big projects, or like you're talking Game of Thrones. 7.
Game
Yeah.
of Thrones,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, they're down to like
going.
7 episodes a season or something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, like you said, this is the third announced project for a new streaming service, so you got to have something to stream on this.
Did we ever get a price on their streaming service?
No, not yet.
Man, I hope it's cheap because I don't want to pay $9.99 for this.
It'll have to be because
wanna be.
in order for us to be able to afford it, along with our Disney streaming and all the other things, we're
And
gonna
our Netflix. And
I got
our
something to
Hulu.
say about that Disney thing. Did you guys complete or did you watch The Punisher?
No, I haven't.
Have not. No.
There's no way that's going to be on Disney streaming anything. There's no way. The deaths, the sex, and just the way people are done in that show, there's no way.
I'm telling you.
No way.
I'm telling you. It's a
well,
Disney
but-
property
but
today.
I know, but it's you got
today.
to watch it and you got to go, this is going to be on Disney?
But that's why I'm saying what I'm sure the way
The
they'll
icon
make it
you
is
click
that
will be Disney.
the way that they'll make it is that you make a
It's just-
profile and it'll limit what the person can see. So
And plus, at the same time, Disney has they've owned Miramax forever, and Miramax has put out rated R hardcore stuff for a while. So I mean, just
True.
because
And-
it's a Disney property doesn't mean they're going to insert the Punisher holding lollipops now.
I know, but I'm telling you, you guys need to watch the show. It is the most brutal show I have seen in a long time for Netflix in general. And I mean, just to watch it and what goes on in it, there are no less than 3 sex scenes in this show. And I mean, they are not
Sweet.
short.
I mean, oh, wow.
They are not short. So
Oh, wow.
get your jacking pants on.
I don't wear pants for that.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I was going to say
streaming Netflix. I love you, man. So you'll know what that is. But he had a jack and chair. Either way, but so I'm just saying, I just don't see it on Disney. And it's just like it. I will say though, if Marvel goes that way, that's definitely one of the ones I'll have to pay for, and I'll have to reevaluate the Netflix thing. And then with this, and related to DC here, if they keep kicking out stuff like this, if they come out with a soups, I'm done.
Oh, they will.
I know they will. If Krypton somehow floats its boat over there, or they do a whole Superman thing, I don't know that I want Henry Cavill replaced or a Smallville redone. but I don't know what they would do. But
Yeah.
man,
I would imagine though that they'll carry the DC universe movies eventually. Like
those
so,
are fun.
You know, so
You're talking about live action. I thought you were talking about the animated
both,
one. Yeah, the
both.
animated ones are fun.
The both animated and live action. I would
Man, some of the
imagine.
stories in those. If you guys haven't seen those, man, some of those stories are great. Now they're derived right from the comics, but
They are. They're really good though.
they're really good.
It's we talked about it before. Like the DCEU needed to take cues from the animated movies because
They
they've
need to
had
be
some
their own thing.
really good ones.
Yeah, they need to be their own thing. I don't know how they do that in this time and age, but they need to be their own thing because some of their stories are so good.
Actually, I had a thought. So
Oh.
our own local reporter on the local radio, Will West, asked this question the other night, and I'm sure it was because he was trying to just talk about something other than a UT coaching search. But
I'll bet.
but essentially, he was just talking about they needed to kind of like what direction could they
Yeah, how do you
go,
cut ties?
You know, to try to move forward and put the past behind them essentially. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the gist of what he was saying. And my thought was that DC really needs to cut their own path. And he was saying what he said was they need to put Joss Whedon at the helm and let him
I did see that
let him guide
exchange,
it.
and I saw what you said, and
Yeah.
I agree with what you said. And if you guys didn't read it, Justin was saying that
Yeah.
you didn't feel like Joss was the right.
No, I don't think, because I think if they went the Joss Whedon direction, it's going to feel very much of injury.
Yeah, I don't.
And so I think
And Zack Snyder's not the answer either.
you already have.
I don't know. It did make a lot of money. I just want
But
to
you
point that out.
you do have a home run director over there, by the way, the name of Patty Jenkins.
Very true.
You want to make $1 million freaking billion zillion dollars, Dr. Evil?
$1 zillion.
Then put her in charge of
Yeah.
the DCEU and let her do it, because people will support it, not only because you've got a strong woman in charge, but she created an awesome movie in Wonder Woman.
Her movie's good. That villain's crap at the end.
The villain was crap, but I don't think
Yeah.
that
You
you
get somebody else in there to kind of,
yeah.
No, that's true. That was probably what they had to do.
Because look at what happened in Justice League. I mean, it's a similar thing.
True. It's not. Everybody's like, ugh.
Yeah.
I heard the dialogue and that's not very good either. I haven't watched it yet, and I want to
Justice
say,
League?
yeah. I heard the dialogue's really.
It's okay.
Though a lot of people
it's-
said what you said, Landon.
It's not pants backwards bad. I mean, like there
I
are
heard Jason
some
Momoa's
points.
is terrible.
I mean, yeah, like bro Aquaman at some points is kind of like oh boy, but and there are points where you realize, okay, that was written by Zack Snyder, that was written by Joss Whedon. Now we're back to Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Like, but it wasn't terrible.
I know this is kind of off topic, but it's still on topic because it's DC. Did you see the petition another petition, as it were, to get the Zack Snyder version released? Yeah, they want it released. I don't think that's a horrible idea. I would like to see it.
I've also heard that cut doesn't exist, so I don't know how realistic
I did see something about
that's
that. Well, it's probably not put together. So
Yeah. It might be kind of in pieces. But it'd be cool to see. It's kind of like what we talked about, like seeing the storyboards. Like we want to see.
Yeah.
We wanted to see the storyboards for the original Han Solo.
yeah,
movie.
absolutely.
I'd
What,
like-
what went wrong? I just want to
Yeah.
know what got you fired.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what's the line?
Yeah, what line did you cross?
What's the line? I mean, was it like Landon said, pants backwards, kind of crazy?
They tried.
Yeah.
I think they tried to kill Han. I think
They
we
probably.
nailed it.
Hey, guess what? Spoiler alert, they kill Han.
Yeah, the prequel they killed Han Solo.
Yeah.
They're like, wait a minute, that can't happen. Well, our whole story is based on that.
Marty, we gotta go to a galaxy far, far away.
They created some kind of flashpoint. In
Why
Han
isn't
Solo.
Christopher Lloyd a freaking Jedi?
Because he would probably be better. Well, I guess he could be like a crazy old Jedi, maybe.
He's not a good Sith. He's not.
No.
I would never be convinced he was a Sith.
And I could
But
see
a
him
Jedi,
almost in
yes.
like a Yoda role,
Yeah.
a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
We can't go with what he's saying. He's a crazy kid.
But yeah, I just think
DC's doing a good job. But, I said before, I was like, yeah, pass. I'm kind of recanting a little bit on that. I want to see, and then of course, in relation, Landon mentioned it pre-show is the first. You guys can go out and see the first images of Robin in the
In Titan.
in Titan. So, and he does not look bad. I mean, he looks pretty cool, man.
at the
so-
risk of this website screaming at me, I was going to pull it up and see if we
Uh-oh.
get a closer look. So
And
there
see,
he is.
And does he have nipples?
No nipples.
Awesome. So, thank God. And it's not.
Oh, the suit does though. He doesn't.
Oh! They shaved his off, but not the suit.
This just got weird.
Yeah, but yeah, it's not that crazy one with George Clooney.
Right.
I can't remember
It's
his
not
name.
anatomically correct.
But yeah,
Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell. Thank
Yeah.
you. You know I'm not a names person. I think it looks cool, man. So
Yeah. Good stuff. I'm just gonna put this out. I'm gonna hit it quick because we,
I can
of course we're
I
going
can
a little
top this
longer.
one pretty fast.
But yeah, I know Matt, you wanted to talk about.
I
this.
don't want to talk about it long.
Well, so we there's an article. That,
Yeah, we'll see.
There's an article that came out and
You're
it's
the guys
talking
who get really angry about this stuff.
not angry, just keep out of my Disney parks. But there's an article that came out about the Avatar sequels that are upcoming, and apparently there's going to be a lot more underwater action.
I don't know what that's about, but I will tell you that
They're shooting underwater mocap.
The mocap problem is that they can't do motion capture underwater. It does not work. You have to have the cameras for it. And as we all know, it's a visual thing with laser beams, I do believe, or something like that. They can't do it underwater. There's no way to do it. So James Cameron, in all his genius, has decided, I'll just invent the technology, and that's what he's done. He's invented motion capture for underwater. Now here's where it gets crazyville, and I'll leave you with this: if you want to be in this film, you've got to do underwater training, and he has teenagers within this film who can hold their breath for over 4 minutes to be able to act underwater.
4 minutes?
Because he does not want scuba gear to interfere with the acting
Aren't you gonna,
and
lose
the body motions.
brain cells at that point?
I don't
good
know.
Yeah,
God.
I was gonna say that can't be healthy.
That does not sound safe.
I don't know what James Cameron's doing, but he's obviously going to murder children.
Yeah, that sounds crazy.
If Robert Stack was around, I do believe this would be on Unsolved Mysteries, and he'd be like, the tale of the movie murders, and then he would be really scary talking about this whole thing.
Wow.
I'm already scared.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's still got a long runway to figure this
Yeah,
out.
he does.
Avatar 2 isn't supposed to come out till 2020.
He had to push it because of the technology.
Mm-hmm.
Which how much you want to bet me it gets pushed back even further?
There's a very good chance.
Well, he's going to release all of them at the same time.
all at once.
You can just go see Avatar will be the theater. It'll be Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5.
You just go down
Yeah.
first
You'll
theater's
get what's
Avatar
called-
2, then you go to the next theater Avatar.
You'll get
3.
what's crap my pants ticket, because that's what you're going to have to do to be able to watch all of them, because you're not allowed to go to the bathrooms.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So I just kind of reading the article as you were talking about it. Basically, it talks about how the way motion capture works gets disrupted by the water particles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
Particles.
It is molecules.
Molecules.
That is interesting.
Protons.
So he's like, instead of just not doing it, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, James Cameron is a pretty intelligent guy.
Oh, very much so. I mean, that's what took Avatar so long. He was waiting for the technology to shoot the dang movie to come around, and he's like, "All right, I'll just make it myself. Thanks, guys."
Yeah, you guys are really slow and not interested in what I want to do. So.
Yep. So, in addition to shooting the most profitable film of all time, I'm going to make technology to then make the next profitable film of all
Very
time.
true. And he almost killed Weinstein, I heard. So.
Oh well. As if you needed another reason to like him.
When you're making a cake, eggs must be broken.
That's right. Even rotten ones.
Yeah. I wanted to quickly hit on this too. We've talked a little bit about this, kind of speculating where the Marvel universe will be headed after Infinity Wars, because we did read that Kevin Feige has talked about they really want to take it in a whole new direction in terms of feel and tone.
Did Kevin Feige do Guardians?
Well, I mean, he's over all of the movies.
Oh, okay,
he's
okay,
kind of
okay.
the Kathleen Kennedy of the Marvel
I got you.
universe.
I got you. I get confused on names sometimes. I thought he was one of the ones. I always get him and the guy who made that terrible Ghostbusters one mixed up.
Well, that notwithstanding, this article is from Geek Tyrant, and the headline is Evangeline Lilly says the next phase of Marvel will be a more colorful and playful heightened reality. And
What do you think about that?
One of the quotes, I think this is pretty telling, and we kind of talked about this.
Yeah.
So this is a quote. She says, "Frankly, if it wasn't Kevin at the helm, I would be very, very nervous to be losing these pillars and the people who paved a way for characters like the Wasp. When he walked me through the general story arc of Infinity War, it dawned on me, oh, I understand now. We're moving into this new phase. The color of that new phase can be clearly seen emerging through Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Thor Ragnarok. It's more colorful, playful, and a heightened reality. So
Okay.
it's interesting.
Okay. That's the first thing when you said that is I thought when you read that title to us, the first thought I had was Guardians of the Galaxy, where they went to Ego. They went to the planet because it's very vibrant.
Yeah,
So
it is, and I think that Thor Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 have a similar palette, really. And I guess it's kind of like fantasy sci-fi with like neon, like
kind of a retro '80s feel to it.
Yeah.
yeah, and
Which is cool. I mean, it works. I don't know if it's a nostalgia thing that's kind of built into me, but I like it.
Oh, it definitely works, especially in both of the movies you mentioned, Guardians 2 and Ragnarok. Two of the biggest draws in those movies were its visuals.
Yeah. And I also think you could probably look at something like Doctor Strange as well, because especially
Easy.
Yeah. I want to like Doctor Strange, but I think the plot was too drawing out for me. I don't know if the villains weren't compelling enough, but the
It didn't
visuals
have
of that
a great
movie,
villain. I'll
it
give you
didn't,
that.
and I wasn't compelled to think he was in trouble at all times. I felt like he was more against himself than anything, but the visuals of that movie, though, were really good.
yeah, that
Super trippy.
yeah, it was. It was definitely more of a visual experience.
I hope they do. I hope they do a lot more with him in Infinity War. Like make him a very solid point. And from the comics, if I remember, and God, it's been forever since I read them. I think he is a pretty big staple. So
At this point in comics, yeah, Strange is a big hitter in the Marvel universe, and just based on the trailer, I know Jay, you're staying away from it. Strange is front and center in that trailer.
yeah, he is. I'm really impressed with that trailer.
Yeah, you guys can talk about. I told you I'm abstaining.
I didn't know if we want to save that for Thursday.
No, we
or
can
not,
do it
but-
now. This can be where we kind of wrap up. I'm abstaining because, like we said, I'm going to see this movie regardless.
I know.
I also don't feel an obligation to see the preview because I know you guys are going to watch it.
I'm so surprised by this. I'm just.
I'm-
I am.
Me too.
I want to. This is my experiment.
This is the only trailer I've ever watched in the last year.
this is my experiment. I want to go in totally sight unseen to this
No,
movie.
I get it.
I'm going to try.
I get it.
But I will
totally
allow.
get it.
I will allow the conversation. I just don't want to see it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you guys can talk about it all you want.
I like what we're going to see, and I am super stoked about Black Panther movie coming up before we get this, because Black Panther looks totally awesome in this too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm super, to echo what Matt said, excited to get more Panther. Thankfully, we do have that movie before we get to Infinity Wars Part 1. I will kind of say I think Thanos kind of looks weird.
Oh, I didn't want to go there.
I would feel like a hypocrite if I bagged on Justice League for its PlayStation 2 era looking graphics of Steppenwolf and not bag on Thanos, because Thanos does not look super great.
I feel like the same company who did Apocalypse decided they did such a great job they should come over and do Thanos.
Right?
It just is. It does from the previews. It does not. He looks like an eggplant in the microwave. It
Yeah,
doesn't
he
look
kinda
good.
does.
It's not cool.
I think you have a real challenge sometimes taking something from a visual element, like a character like Thanos from a comic book, and putting it in a movie and making it
That's
not
true. That's
not look ridiculous. You know, and that's why X-Men in those old movies, like the X-Men and X2,
Okay,
they
so-
have these black suits.
Yeah,
Right,
Black
exactly. But I'm glad you brought up X2, and this is pulling from another podcast I listened to, and I like their point, and I want to repeat it. Nightcrawler looked amazing in that to me.
That's true.
If they had went that route and just, paid him whatever the money it takes to get him to sit in a seat for 4 hours of makeup and did it that way, 100 times better than what we're seeing.
Okay.
I
So
think.
you would
I
have
think.
rather see a practical Thanos.
effect. They're coming back, and I think there's a reason they're coming back is because this CGI stuff is getting. I think we're getting to the precedent where the technology of what we can watch versus the technology of what they can create is starting to clash.
Let me ask this question: what did you think of Hellboy? Do you think he looks ridiculous?
No, I actually liked Hellboy. I liked
Okay.
a lot of Hellboy.
Because
Hellboy looks good. I
Because
like
I
the
feel like
design.
that's kind of what Thanos might he might look similar to that if he were in.
I was never distracted about the way he looked.
Okay.
I was totally on board with God, what is his name?
Ron Perlman.
I love Ron
Yeah.
Perlman. I don't remember his name, but I love him.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, aren't those practical effects like he's wearing makeup?
Yeah,
that's what his. I think that was your point, right? Is the practical effects?
Yeah,
I was never distracted. Where I will be, I think I will be with this whole Thanos character. I definitely was with Apocalypse. I was like, oh my god, you know. Even though the guy did Apocalypse, did an okay job.
Steppenwolf and
yeah,
Ares.
Steppenwolf, and it just
and some cyborg,
yeah. Well, the
Cyborg,
mustache.
Yeah,
you know.
Oh God, the Cavill mustache.
The Cavill mustache, which is not his fault, guys. I will defend Cavill till the day I die, as long as he remains Superman.
Yeah, I was gonna say, calm down there, Superman fan.
As long as he remains
Jimmy
Superman.
Olsen over here.
I will not defend Tom Welling anymore. He is backed away. Sorry, Tom. You are left to the wolves.
Well, it is interesting because we've seen over the last several years a revival of practical effects and moving more towards that in some of these big budget movies.
It's getting people
I'm
hurt.
okay with that. And honestly, I think part of the reason we're seeing that is in the secondary viewing market, aka home. You're starting to see a lot of effects be dated by the time they hit the home market.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we've referenced it before in this episode, The Avengers. It's still a good movie, but you go back and look at some of those effects, they look kind of dated, and that movie isn't that old.
Yeah. No. Well, that and let's talk about home theaters and TVs in general. I mean, the technology in TVs right now is through the roof.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't even know. Is it QHD now? Is that what we're up to? I don't know.
What the hell does that mean?
4000K. I don't know what we're doing.
4K.
No, there's something beyond 4K now, and I don't remember what it's called. Is it
is it UHD?
No, QLED.
QLED.
Is it QLED? I don't know. Somebody correct me on Twitter.
You're ahead of me on this one.
It's a really, I mean, it's amazing the TVs that are out there. Even the curved, I think the Samsung Curve, that TV is insane to me. I can't get over how crazy it looks. But
is
how
curved
good it looks
TV
on there,
still a thing?
It's still a thing right now until we get ones that we can just roll up and take like, you know, the paper. No, it's just it's blowing me away. But the thing is, these movies, like Landon said, 3 or 4 years ago, they're not holding up.
Yeah,
you know. I don't know about you guys, but how many times do you guys watch Ultron, Age of Ultron?
I've seen it twice.
That's as many times as I've seen it.
I've sat down to see it twice, but then again, it's been on like FX or FXX or whatever, and it's been like, all right, I'm folding laundry. Yeah, I'll put this on in the background.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know. There's something about it I'm not really a fan of, and I think it is Ultron. It's the whole thing with him that I just don't care for. And I don't know that you could have done that as a practical effect, but in the sense, it's just it's too much of it in there.
That's interesting, and I guess what I was starting to get at is as we're moving more further down,
we're
the
going
road
backwards in technology.
We're going further, but we're going backwards in the practical effects.
People want to see people.
I mean, heck, people loved it in episode 7.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's a great example. I mean, and that's part of the thing that people hated about the prequels is that they're all CGI.
All CGI.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just Ian McGregor talking to a tennis ball that he assumes is going to be,
there's
Jar Jar
something
or
about
something.
it. It's almost like people talking about how they like listening to records. There's almost something that you can't put into words that's like pleasing about it to your senses.
The snaps, the pops, and the way it feels. There's a mood that you can set with music and especially movies, and I think that practical effects holds on to
snaps and pops.
Snaps and pops.
Right? Yeah. Hey now.
How's that, Rice Krispie?
Welcome to Flavor Country.
Is the train near?
Oh yeah. I'm hearing a whistle.
I'm hearing a whistle.
On the side of the pillow.
But yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll tell you this: stuntmen and even like stars are starting to get hurt from doing their own stunts and the way stunts are being done now. So, I think we had a guy die on The Walking Dead. Tom Cruise got hurt doing something.
Didn't Charlize Theron get hurt doing Atomic Blonde?
Atomic Blonde, and that was one of the things I wanted to kind of get to. I'm glad you brought that up. Is John Wick and Atomic Blonde are all like practical effects. There's no CGI Matrix crazy fighting in there. This is straight up, they're beating the crap out of each other. And I think that right there, those are super popular. I don't know about Atomic Blonde. I want to say it's got a pretty strong following, but
I don't think it made a ton of money. But
it didn't take a ton of money,
really
but definitely John Wick, definitely both of those have a strong following for people who like that kind of movie. And I get it, man. I love John Wick. I could probably watch both of them in a row all the time.
I'm excited. John Wick 2's on HBO, so
it's so good. Have you not seen it yet? The fight between him and Common is so good, and you wouldn't think Common. I mean, He's a good actor. If you haven't seen a TV show he's on, Hell on Wheels, it's really good. He is really good at this. So.
Okay. I'm excited to see it. Assassin's Creed is on HBO streaming, too.
If you haven't seen that, it's pretty good. If you played the game, I will say this. It's a good movie if you played the game. If you haven't, I'm sorry, you won't get it.
Yeah.
You won't get it.
I played a little bit of the...
If you just have to understand the story. You have to understand how that works. The animus and all that stuff.
I played some Ezio.
Ezio.
Yeah.
Ezio the Torah.
I'm here to be with your daughter.
The girlfriend actually bought the Ezio collection over Black Friday, and she is currently playing through Assassin's Creed 2.
That's on my wants. That's on my wants.
It's fun.
I instead of getting that, I made a Battlefield 1 Premium Pass purchase, which was $30 one day, and I was like, yes, please.
There you go.
Yeah, not bad.
No, I got all the DLC and everything, so it was pretty cool.
That is cool. All right. Guys, I say we wrap this one up for today. I will ask our faithful listeners to go out to our Twitter account. That's at nerd_news_cafe. Go to our Facebook fan page, our website, nerdnewscafe.com. Email us, nerdnewscafe@gmail.com. And, interact with us because that's what keeps us going. We love the fan interaction. I know we got a couple more submissions for a Pixar top 5.
Yeah.
Well, we can probably get to those on Thursday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, talk about that a little bit more. But always love hearing from the fans. Feedback, topic suggestions, whatever you want. And Eric, stop sending me porgs or I'm coming after you.
But on the flip side, Eric, please keep sending him porgs.
We literally got a porg suggestion mid-show.
We did.
Yeah. That's great.
Don't need it. Don't need that in my life. I don't need that kind of hate. It's all positivity.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, huh? Did you see?
Matt, how's the Star Trek pod going?
Star Trek's doing okay. We are kind of on pause, hiatus. We're doing some planning. The next release will be a recap show. I'm not sure exactly when we're going to do that. Probably soon, as we're getting farther away from when the mid-season finale happened. But we want to kind of go over the theories and thoughts of the season up to this point. And then we've got some fun things planned for this gap, and then the gap between this and season 2. So you guys need to definitely check it out. Catch up. It's at Trekking Trek Pod on Twitter. It is Trekking Trek Podcast if you want to jump on with us and get caught up on our discovery of Discovery. It's a lot of fun, man. And like I said, we're working on some stuff. We're gonna have some fun.
Awesome, Landon.
Very cool. Speaking of stuff to stand in the gap, waiting for Star Trek to come back, I run a website, buttmunchchips.com, buttmunchchips.
Sit on your butt
and munch.
Thanks for being there, guys. I appreciate it. Where you can find the exclusively posted Game of Thrones talk, a.k.a. Got Talk, where we're kind of in a hiatus because we don't know when Game of Thrones is coming back, because Got Talk is where myself and Hunter Reese break down each episode of HBO's award-winning series Game of Thrones. But in lieu of episodes of Got Talk, we have a new episode of the Butt Munch Chips Variety Pack dropping this week, where Hunter and I give you our thoughts in depth of Thor Ragnarok, Justice League, and just kind of the year that was when it comes to comic book movies, because starting all the way back in February with Logan, we've had some damn good ones come out this year, guys. So Hunter and I had a conversation about that as well, and that's posted again exclusively at buttmunchchips.com. Remember Butt Munch Chips?
Sit on your butt.
And munch.
And also twitter.com/Landoz, Landoz.
Nice.
Ta-da!
Well, I would love to have the opportunity to thank each and every one of you individually. Since I can't do it, I'll do it as a group. Thank you all for listening. Come back on Thursday for Stir It Up, when Matt's going to get us fired up and help us start the weekend early, just like Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yep, BW3's coming at your face.
So get out there.
Herpes.
Get out there, eat your wings, sit on your butt and munch, and until next time.
Interception in transmission.
I telegraphed it too much.
Nice.